can't see.
Nah, he deserved those.
Those shit there, it was like this, like Black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch. You're like,
I hate you, man.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you niggas this year.
Basically, I can say it was a whole lot of running around with that case. It was a whole lot of things that wasn't, what can I say? We didn't have enough information to push the case. That's what I basically can say. We didn't have enough information to keep the case going, so.
Well, 50 Cent did an interview recently, and he thinks that a lot of Jay-Z's success was because he was married to Beyonce.
I don't think that's true.
No?
No. Because before he was married to Beyonce, he was popping already.
That's true, but he got more popping with Beyonce.
But I can see why 50 Cent would say that. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand 50 Cent saying that. You know what I mean?
Be doing so much and running, and it just really dawned on me. It's the man that my mom was underage when she consumed me. Anyone who'd have been older than.
Things are getting real. Jay-Z's alleged son, Rymir Satterthwaite, just landed a major win. And guess who's backing him up now? 50 Cent. Yep, 50 straight up offered to help Ramier take Jay-Z to court. And this comes just days after a judge finally gave Ramier the green light to move forward with his case.
Oh, his alleged son?
No. If you talk to him personally, that's his son.
You think that's his son?
Yeah. You know what I think his son? First of all, Jay-Z offered him money. At first he offered him bread, like, and everything, but his aunt, this is like his caretaker didn't like approve of it. She said, no, Jay-Z got a lien on her house, all type of shit that was going on.
I look and I go, oh, that's your big homie, right? And so you image yourself after a gay painter. The big homie want to look like a gay painter.
What are we talking about here?
We're talking about Basquiat. He wants to look like a gay painter.
Way beyond, I feel like, right now I feel like I got a bigger fight, this is part of my life, so I won't stop fighting for, the paternity or anything else, whatever I put my mind to, I fully go. I was hoping that it wasn't true, but if it is, honestly, you cannot do things like that. You will get what you deserve. I don't know what them guys was thinking. I don't know what he was thinking, if it's true, only he can respond and get himself out of this.
Now, Jay-Z, he's allegedly panicking. He put out this bizarre statement accusing Ramier of harassing him for years. His legal team's threatening to expose what they claim are lies. But here's the thing. Jay still refuses to take the one simple step that could shut all of this down. A DNA test.
And would you still want Jay-Z to take a paternity test?
I mean, I would, but that would have to be his choice. I can't force anyone to take a paternity test. I'm going to still live my life, take care of my family, and do everything I got to do. People are just so quick to judge a person that's a low income, but somebody that doesn't have it, and somebody that does, they always think, you coming after that person's money, or they never look at the full story and things like that. It was rough, living in Philadelphia, it was a.
Oh, did you see? I think the girl like Tasha K. She got a joint Jay-Z son on there.
Oh, his alleged son?
No. If you talk to him personally, that's his son.
You think that's his son?
Yeah. You know what I think his son? First of all, Jay-Z offered him money. At first he offered him bread, like, and everything, but his aunt, this is like his caretaker didn't like approve of it. She said, no, Jay-Z got a lien on her house, all type of shit that was going on.
And here's where it starts getting really dark. Word on the street is that the reason Jay's been dodging that test isn't just about the scandal. It's about how young Ramir's mother was when she got pregnant. According to Ramier, his mom, Wanda, was just a teenager, 15 going on 16, when 22-year-old Jay allegedly got her pregnant. Let that sink in for a moment. So the big question is, what is Jay-Z actually trying to hide? This isn't the first time Jay's name has been dragged into something messy. Remember when he nearly got caught up in that whole Diddy takedown? One of Diddy's accusers claimed Jay-Z and Diddy essayed her when she was only 13. Although the lawsuit was eventually dropped, the woman later came forward saying she never took back her story. According to her, Jay sent private investigators to intimidate her into silence. But what's even shadier? The media blackout. Major outlets like TMZ and The Shade Room didn't touch this new development. Nothing. And if you search their sites for the Ramier story, even though it's been trending, it's like it doesn't exist.
it's really interesting how people don't want to see and believe that these people will do anything to avoid a RICO case, because a RICO case is the only thing that the federal government.
TMZ, they went live on the day of the jury reading, and Harvey himself, he seemed very surprised that the RICO charges did not stick.
He seemed surprised. You know how surprised he looked as surprised as Beyonce did when she won that country album of the year, and everybody knew they bought that shit. He looked about as genuine as she did when she won that award.
Same thing with the Jane Doe case. Just last week, a judge dismissed Jay-Z's defamation lawsuit against attorney Tony Busby, who's representing Jane Doe. And again, not a single big outlet reported on it. It's like there's a giant broom sweeping everything under the rug. And most bloggers are just too scared to say a word.
Major news in the Jay-Z and Sean Diddy Combs case. Now, you may remember that last year, an anonymous Jane Doe filed a lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of and her at an MTV VMA after party back in the year 2000 when she was just 13 years old. Now, Sean Combs has denied those claims. Later on, Jane Doe filed an amended complaint naming Jay-Z as a defendant as well, also accusing him of her. Jay-Z vigorously denied those claims, but now Jane Doe has dropped her case. Attorneys for Jane Doe filed a voluntary notice of dismissal with prejudice, which means that she cannot refile this case in the future.
But guess who's not scared? 50 Cent, of course.
It's like this, like Black excellence. They're sitting there like, yeah. It's the billionaire brunch. You're like,
I hate you, man.
Unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm gonna be with you niggas this year.
50 didn't just clown Jay online for dodging the DNA test. He allegedly reached out to Ramier directly and offered his own legal team to help him out. And now, Jay's camp is scrambling. They're trying to shut the case down fast, even launching a PR campaign to make Ramier look unstable. In newly filed court documents from June 16th, Jay-Z downplayed the latest lawsuit, calling it just more harassment. He claimed the allegations had already been addressed. But here's the thing, if Jay's so confident, why spend all that money in court instead of just doing a quick DNA test? Exactly. This time Ramier might finally have the upper hand. With evidence stacking up and 50 Cent in his corner, it's not looking good for Jay. And Ramier, he's not holding back. He's made it clear he believes Jay-Z is his father. But he also said that if he's wrong, then Jay should prove it. He's not asking for special treatment, just the truth.
But something happened to him and I was like, yo, that sounds kind of weird. He said he was coming out from work, going to work, and there was a gun in his car. Like when he opened the door, he seen the gun. He said he went to go call his man, like, yo, did you leave a gun in my car? His man's like, no. He said, why you on the phone talking to his man? The cops pull up and lock him up. He said, he told the cops, no, that's not my gun. He's like, so he went in the building he was in and they seen that somebody pulled up and put the guns in his car.
Oh.
And pulled off. I said, bro, I don't know nobody in the hood that got guns to just waste like that to do that. I don't know what. He's like, yeah, so like Jay-Z had a gag order, or like trying to get a gag order and try to. And my thing is, if it's not my son, I'll just take a test, get over with.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that you did dodge it and whatever, to me, I don't know. I think his mom was underage or something when he was born, so I think that's probably.
Oh.
Yeah, I think that's probably part of it.
Yeah.
But like I said again, it's not the same as now.
He even said he'd be fine with hearing no from the court. He's been through a lot, and he could handle rejection. But what he can't accept is silence. All he wants is clarity. And at this point, so do we. Let's get into 50 Cent's messy involvement in this whole situation. Because of course, he had to insert himself. He started off by trolling Jay-Z on Instagram, pointing out that Jay and Ramier literally have the same nose. Petty? Absolutely. On brand for 50? Always.
Jay-Z's career, you can look at that and say the association to Beyonce is when he started to receive the 16, 17 Grammys since he's been with Beyonce. Right? And you go, prior to that, one.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that came in association, like you see their kids even have Grammys. Like they don't sing yet. They don't sing.
Right.
They don't rap yet. And they already have Grammys and shit. So it's like they give them this trophy so we secure that they're coming to the award show. It meant that much to the culture that they just gave them the things that.
But he didn't stop there. According to people close to the case, 50 Cent actually reached out to Rymir and offered him his own legal team to help him take things further. Then he added fuel to the fire by posting a cryptic IG story that said, "A good lawyer knows the law. A great lawyer knows the judge." And you already know what kind of shade that was. And let me tell you, this changed everything. For the longest time, Rymir's case was being completely buried. No coverage, no traction. But as soon as 50 Cent stepped into the picture, Jay-Z's legal team switched into full panic mode. They started scrambling to shut the case down and paint Rymir as unstable before anything caught fire in the media. Just recently, Jay filed new documents asking the court to dismiss the case altogether.
We didn't have enough information to keep the case going, so it was a big case to me because, I really wanted to find out who my father was, and for the case not to go how I was planning it, I really thought it was going to go different than what it was, but I really feel like it should have been over with because, I feel like if it was anybody else, I'm not saying this because people got higher standards or people make more money than that, but it's just different because, if it was anybody else that made a low income, I feel like they would have had them in there way faster than people that's wealthy.
In the paperwork obtained by Us Weekly, Jay described Rymir's lawsuit as nothing more than another chapter in what he calls a decades-long harassment campaign. He even claimed that all of the fabricated allegations had already been shut down by multiple courts and that Rymir's continued efforts had already led to a contempt order. But Dr. Lily Colley, who used to be Rymir's legal guardian and is also a paralegal, is not letting that slide. She fired right back, saying Jay-Z's court filing was full of lies. In her statement, she insisted that none of this was made up. Wanda's affidavit, the one from Rymir's mom, has been on the court records for years and has never been withdrawn. That sworn statement is literally the entire foundation for why Rymir believes Jay-Z is his father. Dr. Colley also denied Jay's claim that Rymir had even been found in contempt. She said that's just not true. Not for Rymir, not for Wanda, and not for her either. And what she really wanted to drive home is this. Rymir's paternity has never actually been settled in court. There hasn't even been a proper discovery hearing or a final ruling on the issue. According to her, this fact just keeps getting ignored in the public conversation.
Why would you wait all this time? I didn't got married and everything, like the elevator incident happened. Why couldn't you have popped out then? If it popped out then. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I think you have none of my features. No pun intended, features. Yep. Already got married. I mean, B is my wife. You know what I'm saying? Rap is my life. And you not a breeding from that, son. Cheer. Your lips is not as big as mine. I don't know what a resemblance is. Hove ain't do that. God did. You should know I bleed blue. If slow it down. I bleed blue, but I breed blue. And you it's not my seed. Cool? It's cool. He must have took this picture with an Android. You gotta be from Philly.
And speaking of facts people keep skipping over, let's talk about Wanda's age when she got pregnant. That detail alone changes the entire tone of this situation. Ramier first made headlines back in 2015 when the public found out he was suing Jay-Z. But behind the scenes, this battle started way earlier. In 2014, he and Dr. Colley filed their first complaint, and it was instantly shut down. Why? Well, Dr. Colley says that Jay-Z and his lawyer, Lisa Fisher, showed up in court with false and fraudulent information to get the case thrown out. But Ramier wasn't giving up. In 2018, he came back with new court documents, and this time, he accused Jay-Z of using his fame and fortune to dodge a paternity test. That's when things got real shady. The court kept saying the case wasn't valid because Ramir's biological father had already been confirmed. But plot twist, when Ramier got his own birth certificate, there was no father listed at all. And just when you thought this couldn't get any messier, it did. Ramier found out that some of the people on his own legal team were secretly working behind the scenes with Jay-Z's lawyers. Yep, betrayed from the inside. In an interview with The Sun, Ramier said this shady collaboration denied him a fair shot in court, all thanks to legal mistakes and straight-up malpractice. He also shared when he first found out about Jay-Z possibly being his dad. According to Ramier, his mom Wanda sat him down when he was around 8 years old and told him the truth. She said she had a brief fling with Jay-Z back in 1992 at his aunt's apartment in the Brooklyn projects. They used protection, but it failed. And after that night, she never saw Jay again. She didn't have his number, no way to contact him, just gone.
How did you feel when you read those allegations?
I was a little confused. I was lost. I was hoping that it wasn't true, but if it is, honestly, you cannot do things like that. You will get what you deserve. No one should ever be touching any underage kids or doing anything with any underage kids. The kids are our world. Like, I love kids to death. I love our teens. They are our world. So it's like, when you can do things like that, it's just sickening and crazy. So I would hope, these allegations will come out different, but if they not, and he did do these things, he really will get what he deserves.
Sadly, Wanda's health began to deteriorate by 2010. That's when Dr. Lily Colley stepped in and was granted custody of Rymir. Dr. Colley also spoke to the son, saying Wanda got pregnant not long after her encounter with Jay-Z, when she was just 15 or 16 years old. But it gets even wilder.
Be doing so much and running, and it just really dawned on me. It's the man that my mom was underage when she consumed me. Anyone who'd have been older than...
We know that your mother was only 16 when she hooked up with him. I mean, did that come into your thoughts about, whether she may have been... We will never know, so this is purely speculation, but whether she may have been preyed upon if he is a man that would do this kind of thing?
Yeah, it came in my thought, but I wouldn't really know. I would hope. I don't understand. I mean, guys liking younger women and kids. I wouldn't even say younger women, but kids, and it's crazy to me. But I don't know what them guys was thinking.
According to a 2018 lawsuit filed in Philadelphia, Jay-Z's attorney allegedly convinced Wanda to sign legal documents while she was still recovering from a medicated coma. Those papers removed Dr. Colley's name from the petition without her consent. And surprise, surprise, that shady move ended up getting the entire case tossed out of court. Rymir's family said they had never seen this level of corruption before. They were heartbroken and furious. Then things took a dark turn. Rymir and Dr. Colley appeared on Hip Hop News Uncensored and dropped a bombshell. Rymir was shot at shortly after filing the lawsuit against Jay-Z. It happened one night in September when he was in a parking lot with a group of people. Out of all the cars there, only his got riddled with bullets. They believe it wasn't random, that it was connected to the case. And the harassment didn't stop there. Dr. Colley said that ever since the filings began, random people started showing up at her house. They drove over her lawn, knocked on her door at 4 a.m., and tried to intimidate her into staying silent. She said they've been through all kinds of terrifying moments, but none of it made them back down. Because for Dr. Colley, this isn't about Jay-Z, this is about accountability. She said they're fighting for real change and pushing for laws like the Pro Se Act or the Legal A Act to stop rich and powerful people from twisting the justice system in their favor. She made it clear at this point they don't expect Jay-Z to do the right thing. He probably never will. But it's not even about him anymore. It's about the system that let this happen. A system that allowed his situation to drag on for years and put people's lives in danger. That's why, according to Dr. Colley, they're not stopping. That's why they're still going through with the criminal route for the second time.
Jay-Z is not a defendant on this, although he's named multiple times in that. What you're seeking now is accountability from the court because you believe that he used his power and money to influence their decisions. Is that correct?
Yes, I do believe that. And no one has come out and said, anything to go against my claim. So I'm like, everyone knows that it's many courtrooms that it has people in it that's not doing their job or is not doing the correct thing. We can't say that everyone's that working in our government systems are always doing the correct thing and don't make mistakes. What I'm saying is you guys got to be held accountable if you are at these high levels, and we go into these courtrooms and all Americans and everyone around the world are paying their tax dollars everywhere, and you can't even go in there and get a fair due process. These guys are making laws and making loopholes for themselves. Like basically, they got laws, but it's also loopholes that they can get around laws. It shouldn't even be loopholes to get around certain things. So it's like we really need to fix a lot of things that's going on in these courts. We really do.
So this time, the local prosecutor's office actually got involved. But even with that, everything has been moving painfully slow. And people close to the case are saying it's not just delays, it's corruption. Straight up, something shady is definitely going on behind the scenes. Now, here's where things really get wild. In New Jersey, the law says that if someone refuses to take a paternity test, they're legally presumed to be the father. So technically, Jay-Z isn't just accused of being Rymir's dad. By law, he's already considered the father unless he proves otherwise. Let that sink in.
And so this has gone beyond you trying to get a paternity test to find out if he's your
Way
dad.
beyond. Way beyond. I feel like, right now I feel like I got a bigger fight. This is part of my life, so I won't stop fighting for, the paternity or anything else. Whatever I put my mind to, I fully go.
Meanwhile, Rymir's not backing down. He filed a brand new lawsuit, but this time it's aimed straight at the New Jersey court system and several judges. He's accusing them of working with Jay-Z for over a decade to get his cases thrown out. In the filing, both he and Dr. Coley claim that Jay straight up lied under oath, saying he didn't own any property in New Jersey, so the court wouldn't have any jurisdiction over him. But Rymir's team came through with receipts. They found property deeds and tax records with Jay-Z's name on them. So yeah, that lie is not aging well. And get this, Rymir's complaint doesn't stop at Jay. It also names 6 judges who allegedly helped cover for him. According to the lawsuit, these judges backed Jay-Z's story that he didn't own property in the state, which helped him dodge the case entirely. The filing claims Jay used his money and connections to control the court system and keep the truth buried. But it doesn't end there. The lawsuit also says that once Rymir started speaking out publicly about all of this, his car was shot at by unknown people. It goes on to say that both he and Dr. Coley were being followed around their neighborhood, cars literally driving on their lawn at 4 a.m. in the morning. They believe these were intimidation tactics, allegedly carried out by the people tied to Jay-Z's team.
My community, I say it's a bigger picture than just a paternity test. I would love to find out who my father is, but at the end of the day, I am getting support from others around the world, and they've been very helpful, the fan base and everyone. All you guys have been real helpful and just helped me grow. So, I would, but I'm still going to push forward and live my life regardless.
And there was parts of that lawsuit that it goes into in the lawsuit that really, really shows how much emotional stress and physical stress this has put both you and your godmother, Lily, under. Can you just explain a little bit about that and the kind of toll it's taken on you, this whole case?
Well, I would say it's been a lot going on, but I don't really try to look at none of the negative. I can't say it's from anyone, but it has been a lot of weird things going on. But I continue to fight and move forward. I can't be scared of anything.
So now Rymir and Dr. Coley are officially suing not just the court, but the judges themselves. They're accusing them of blocking Rymir's constitutional rights and stopping him from getting the closure he's been fighting for his whole life. The two also sat down with Tasha K recently and confirmed again that Wanda, Rymir's mom, was just 15 or 16 when she got pregnant, while Jay-Z was already 22. And as for how the case keeps getting tossed, Rymir explained that the court tried to argue that the man listed on his birth certificate had to be his real father.
Right now I feel like I got a bigger fight. This is part of my life, so I won't stop fighting for, the paternity or anything else. Whatever I put my mind to, I fully go and I chase, like, I wouldn't say it's a dream, but I get my job done. And, long as I got the truth and respect at the end of the day, I'm not asking for respect from, anyone, but as long as I can go in the courtroom and get a fair due process and get the truth and, get treated like everyone else, I'm cool with that. I'm not asking for much. I'm not really not asking for much. I'm just asking them guys to do their job, and what's so hard about that?
And would you still want Jay-Z to take a paternity test?
But Rymir wasn't having it. He took a DNA test with that man, and the results proved he wasn't the dad. Clear as day. He showed how they tried to throw in legal jargon and confusion, things like ratio, the CADAs, and obscure procedures just to claim the guy on his birth certificate had to be his father. But Rymir and his team did everything they could to prove that wasn't true. The man he grew up calling his dad, he took the test and confirmed he wasn't the one. After that, the only name left was Jay-Z. And once that truth started to come out, Jay's legal team ghosted. According to Ramier, they saw the proof and skedaddled. Ramier didn't hold back when talking about how unfair the whole system has been. He said that if this had been anyone else, the court would have immediately ordered a DNA test, probably within the first 2 years, because that's just how it usually goes. In most cases, courts are quick to say, take the test. They can even start collecting child support without it. The pressure alone usually brings the truth out.
Did you see? I think the girl like Tasha K. She got a joint Jay-Z son on there.
Oh, his alleged son?
No. If you talk to him personally, that's his son.
You think that's his son?
Yeah. You know what I think his son? First of all, Jay-Z offered him money. At first, he offered him bread, like and everything, but his aunt, this is like his caretaker didn't like approve of it. She said no. Jay-Z got a lien on her house, all type of shit that was going on. Yeah, the lady put up paperwork and everything with his name on it and all that. I mean, but young boy's so thorough though. He just want a dad. He not trying to get no money. He not trying to do none of that. I mean, that's why. So I told him when he called me 2 years ago. I said, listen, I don't want to be the one to tell your story because they're gonna think I'm trying to catch rep off of it. So let me let you tell your story somewhere else first. I mean, then I can talk about it. But he called me like 2 years ago, telling me like, I said, oh, young boy. He's like, I just want a dad. I don't want no money. I'm already 18. I think he was like 20 something at the time. But something happened to him, and I was like, yo, that sounds kind of weird.
And then he hit them with a very valid question. If the court really thought he was lying this whole time, why didn't they just dismiss the case with prejudice? Why keep dragging him through it, filing after filing, year after year, wasting time and money? And let's get one thing straight. Rymir isn't out here chasing Jay-Z's money. He said it clearly. If Jay doesn't want a relationship, that's fine. This is about truth, not fame or fortune. He just wants to stand up for what he believes is right. He said it's important for kids coming up in similar situations to understand that sometimes you don't need anything from your parents. You just want to know who they are. He's not looking to be a part of Jay-Z's lifestyle or inner circle. He's got his own life, his own family. But even after everything, he said he still has respect. He may not like Jay as a person, but he respects everyone. And when people ask how he feels about Jay-Z, he's honest. He doesn't like what Jay's done, and he feels like people at the top forget where they came from.
Live for myself. At the end of the day, I still gotta work and bring in income for me. I can't sit around. I gotta get up off my feet and do something. I can't wait on the world. Like I can't say, I can't wait on anybody to want to respond when they want to. It is important that I know who my biological father is, just because, my mom's health, I don't know if it's coming from our family or it's coming from the other side, and that would be something I really would want to find out because, in the future, you don't know what could happen. And a lot of people are so quick to judge because they see somebody coming out and try to find out if the person, trying to find out things, they so negative to.
He said sometimes you have to humble yourself. It's not about power or money, because if Jay-Z really believed none of it was true, it would have been over a long time ago. But instead, he let it drag on for years. Ramier also talked about his mom, Wanda. She passed away, and while he's not saying it's Jay's fault, he made it clear that Jay had a chance to stop all of this legal chaos and chose not to. And if it truly wasn't true, Ramier said he would have apologized publicly, but at this point, he believes Jay-Z is clearly hiding something. And just when you thought we were done, there's something even darker. It turns out Wanda's young age might not be the only reason Jay-Z is allegedly dodging that DNA test. According to some explosive rumors, there's something much more serious at stake. Word is Jay-Z might be avoiding the test because his DNA could be tied to unsolved crimes. The claim is that if he hands over that DNA to settle the paternity dispute, it could also be matched to evidence in other open investigations, possibly linking him to multiple crimes he's allegedly been connected to in whispers and rumors. So here's the wild part. Jay-Z could clear this whole thing up with one simple test. But doing that could open a door he never wants opened. A door that could lead to criminal charges. A door that leads to crime investigations. Allegedly, of course. And that's where we'll leave it for now. With court battles, cover-ups, and explosive rumors still swirling, one thing's clear. This saga is far from over. Whether it's about paternity or something much darker, the truth always finds a way out. So don't forget to like, comment, and hit that subscribe button because we'll be right here ready to spill the next cup of tea when it drops. Stay tuned because this drama, it's only going to get deeper.